Hello, hello, hello. It is 7:31 and it's Sunday night. Can you believe this weekend went so fast? It just went and it was gone. Anyone else feel like that? Just so little time, too many things to do. That's just how it is. Goodness me, 6:20 you were here, Jenny. That's early tonight. Some nights I don't even schedule the video before that time. We are good. Margaret was here too. I'm just going through all the names. Hey, Rose. Hi, Judy. Oh, nice crowd. Hey, Elizabeth. Hello. Oh, Paddington. How is Paddington fitting in? How's the first week been? I'd love to hear how it's going. Just looking to see if I've missed anything. Does anyone have any questions? Hey, Katrina. Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you all. Happy Sunday night. So here I'm on the Central Coast, which is on the east coast of Australia. For anyone who doesn't know the area, it's about 90 minutes north of Sydney. So up the coast, sort of a regional centre, I guess you'd call it. It's not super big, but it's not country either. It's somewhere in between. And I've lived here now since 2000. So yeah, it's been just a whirlwind year. I sometimes still feel like the new girl, but I've actually lived here 22 years on the coast, so not in this house, but on the coast. And it's a great community. I really love living here. I like that we're close to the beach, but we're also close to rural, and we can go down to Sydney if we want to go see a show or something, some entertainment or something, if we're not locked down. Hey Deb, nice to see you. Hey, hi Heather. Hello. Hey Joan. All right, I'm probably missing people, and Sunny, hi. I don't want to miss anybody, so I'm just going to say hello everyone, and you'll just have to forgive me if I haven't said your name. Oh, you saw my reel. Ah, there you go. I have used watercolor pencils quite a bit. In fact, I did a class with them a couple of months ago with my girls in the Hunter Valley that I go up and do a card making class with once a month, and we did some watercoloring quite similar to the one that you saw in the reel today. So the reel I posted on Instagram, but then I try and get as much use out of it as I can. Once I've put it on Instagram, I save it to my camera roll, then I can post it to Facebook, and then I can post it to Pinterest and try and get as much mileage out of that one reel as I possibly can. And I'm actually in the process at the moment of doing a few different kinds of reels. Some of them have techniques or card making. Some of them are just a bit of fun. But I'm trying to do a number of reels so that when I'm away, I've got plenty of stuff to post. So I've been saving drafts, and I'll use them later when I need to post something and I haven't got anything to post. So there you go. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to the US, where there's a Stampin'Up Leaders Conference over there in New Orleans. And my husband and I are going over. My husband is American, so he's going over to see his family. He hasn't seen them since 2018, so he's pretty excited about that. And I'm going for the conference, and then the rest of the time I'm there, I'll spend with the family. So that's pretty exciting. It just was a really good opportunity, too good to refuse. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the desk pretty quickly. We'll get started. For those of you who are watching on Friday night, I made up, I think we made 9 cards in the end. I had enough there for 10, but I just made the 9. And I've been posting those sort of a couple at a time over the next week or so you'll get to see all of them and how they all finished up. I posted the triangle layout ones yesterday, so some of you may have seen those. And I ended up, in fact, I'll just grab them. They're right here. I was really, really happy with them, and it's such a good. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that live or the replay from Friday night. So this is what I mean when I say triangle layout. These, and so I ended up using. We didn't do the sentiments the other night, but I ended up using the artistically inked set. Here it is, this one, and I used the big thanks there in the middle. Try and get no shine, and I used the happy birthday, so you can see one's got the happy birthday and one's got the thanks. Okay, so that was the set that I decided to use in the end. And then we have a whole stack of cards. Look at them all that we made on Friday night. So great technique, one sheet wonder. Super easy way to get lots and lots of cards out of a single piece of paper. So go back and watch that one if you like. And I think the live replay is titled 10 cards out of one piece of paper or something like that. Okay, yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? It was really, really good. Yeah, that's good. You did it yesterday, Elizabeth. How did you go? Did you enjoy that? Did you come up with lots of fun things? Did you use my template, or were you just using a random template or something that you did yourself? If you go onto Pinterest and put in the words One Sheet Wonder, you'll see heaps of different templates that will come up that you can try. So you don't even have to do the thinking. Just got to do the cutting. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's move on to something different. Let's switch over. This one is actually tonight going to be a request. Somebody asked, could I possibly do a live, went the wrong way, do a live video with a card that I posted last week. And some of you may have seen it. Here it is here. So this is actually a really simple card. I'll just bring it up a little bit closer so you can see it. You can see I've got like lots of texture in the background. Okay, this is made with the Quiet Meadow set, and I'm going to show you how I did that. And I've used the tailor-made tags, the smallest one here on the front, but tonight I'm using actually this set called Quiet Meadow has a matching die set called Meadow Dies, and there is a little I'll show them to you. There's a little sentiment label in that. So this is the Quiet Meadow set, and Mary, if you're watching, this is what I was talking about yesterday. So the Quiet Meadow set, you've got lots and lots of sort of antique-y, ephemera kind of, it's a very eclectic set, but it lends itself really well to vintage types of cards. Okay, and then there's the matching Meadow Dies. Now these were a bundle in the previous catalogs. They're not a bundle anymore, but yeah, it's they still match. They're just separate. So the dies are 67, I think, by themselves, and I can't remember. I think the Quiet Meadow set is 37. So to give you a bit of an idea, if you were ordering those this month, then you get a gift with purchase as well, wouldn't you? You get a celebration item. So because every order until the end of August, every order that you place that's $90 or more, you get to choose a free celebration item from the celebration catalog. And the celebration catalog's got lots of fun things in it. As you can see, it goes to the 31st of August. Everything I show you tonight, except what's in this little container, okay, everything else is available for purchase. Okay, so I'll get to that. If you wanted to purchase anything, you can see I've got on the screen there my blog address, lhiggins.blogspot.com. You can go there and there's a shop now button, or if you're on my Facebook page, there's a nice big blue shop now button on that page as well. So that takes you to the online store. Well, you know what's cool about the online store? You can shop from the comfort of your own home, and you can do it 24 hours a day. So if you suddenly have the urge to buy a stamp set at 2 a.m., you can. How good is that? Do it in your PJs. All right, so in the celebration catalog, like I said, every $90 you get to pick a free thing. So there's the hippo stamp set, which is super cute. We did some hippo work a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And then there's the matching dies. So they're a $90 order, and these are a $90 order. So if you wanted both, you'd be placing two separate $90 orders, or you place a $180 order, okay? Then on the next page, we've got the Rings of Love paper, which is what I used on Friday night to make all those One Sheet Wonder cards. And then these, the Pool Party Soft Sea Foam envelopes and cards and envelopes, they've gone. Okay, they're sold out. They're no longer available. So when items do sell out, because it's such a short promotion, only goes for 2 months, once they're gone, they're gone. So these are no longer, so you can't get the cards and envelopes. But you can get the Stylish Sketches stamp set, which has got the fox and the ducks. And then this paper that I have used a couple of times, which is the silver and gold 6x6 foil designer paper, really, really nice. Great for sponging over. Can you see how they've sponged over it here? And you can see the silver spots showing through the sponging. It's very, very nice. I really like the way they've done that. I love this. I may come back and do this later because I haven't decided what I'm doing for my second card yet. That could be that I could possibly work on this theme but do something a little bit different. But anyway, we'll have a think about that. This is a set called Amazing Phrasing. Now, this is actually a $180 order, so it's like a level 2 gift with purchase. You've got the Tree Lot dies with the Caravan. You've seen me use this one, and that's another $180 purchase. So towards the back here, there's some 180, like higher value ones. Once again, the Wonderful World stamp set and matching paper, they're a gift with purchase together. So you get both for a $100 or $180 spend. Now, if you're looking at this and going, yeah, I've seen everything in there I want. There's even a hose set, the Perfect Pomegranate set, this one here. This is if anyone was either placing an order of 500 or more, or if you had a workshop or you have some friends ordering together, then you can get the Perfect Pomegranate set as well. And you get that for free as soon as you have an order of that size. But I'll just show you quickly these. What have we got there? There's some more celebration things, because I've had a few people say, oh, I've got all the things I wanted out of the celebration brochure. Well, of course, they know that. So they went and bought out some more things last week or the week before. There's a few different embossing folders for a $90 spend. There's brush metallic paper. You can never have enough of that, which has got all the different, like copper and gold and champagne. And then you've got silver foil 12 by 12 paper. Now there's those yellow dots and the craft gift boxes. All the yellow dots are a $90 one. All the green dots are a $180. They're a level 2 one. Flowers of Home dies, spots and dots, daffodil dies, and aspen tree dies. So there you go. I think that's everything I need to show you. Now, I did want to show you, before we start doing this card, I want to show you, these have got this beautiful vintage look, but let me turn this up the right way because they're all over the place. They're hickledy-pickledy. There's that word again. Hey, girls. Nice to see we've got lots of it. You've got that set in your craft room. Is that the Quiet Meadow set? Because it's such a nice one. Such a nice set. It's a set that I bought. It's a set that I bought. I've got a couple. And, you know, another one that reminds me a little bit of this is the Nature's Harvest set, because you can get some nice vintage looks with that as well. And it's got the kind of this kind of background thing that lends itself to fun backgrounds as well. A little bit different. What I like about this set, you know, my favorite stamp in here, I got two really. I love this like print that you can do things with in the background, and I love this splodgy splotch stamp. Will we call it a splotch? I think it is. So in this set you've got lots of little bits of flowers and like different plants which look lovely. There's some butterflies, there's a tag, and one I do use a lot, there's this little label. See how nice this label is? So on this card I use the tailor-made tags, but today I'm going to use the matching, because it's the Quiet Meadow set. I thought I might as well use the labels. So this is in the annual catalogue, guys, not in the mini. This is an annual catalogue set. I haven't done very many annual catalogue sets lately because I've been looking at the mini so much, but that's okay. All right, so let's start. There's not a lot to this card. All right, I'm just going to start. The color I'm using as my base is grey granite. Okay, you have the set, isn't it well used? Exactly, it's just beautiful. It is a beautiful die set. Hi Alona, nice to meet you there. All right, so I'm going to grab out a couple of stamps, and I'm going to start with grey granite ink. Now, quite often, if I'm trying to create texture, and that's what this card is all about, trying to create texture, I'm going to use stamps in the background and kind of layer them over the top of each other. And I like to start with the same color ink as cardstock, because it's going to create a tone-on-tone look that is really quite beautiful, but really, really good for layering. One thing about this print stamp, you even though the words are kind of indistinct and they don't make a lot of sense, you do still need to get them up the right way, because straight away you can tell if the stamp is upside down because the letters look wrong. So I just wanted to make sure that if you're using it, you want to. That's interesting. I'm missing a block. I'm missing my block H. Never mind. I'll use block I. This is a big one, but that's okay. It won't really matter. Just picking it up. I'm going to start here. And I'm going to use my grey granite, and I'm going to ink it up. Now, my grey granite, I have to tell you, my grey granite ink pad probably could use a bit of a re-ink. Okay, if I stamp it here, it's dark enough. I'm going to get a good effect with it. But sometimes when you go to start stamping, you want to stamp on your scrap paper first, just to make sure that you're getting a clear enough image. And for a background like this amount of ink is fine. But if I was doing the stems on the front here, then I want those to be a lot more I want them to stand out a lot more. So I'll probably be making sure that I have a well-inked stamp for those. All right, so the nice thing about creating texture with this is you don't have to be straight. Isn't that a relief, right? And what I'm actually going to do is purposely, as I come down, I'm not even going to re-ink every time. I'm going to do an ink and then and you can see I'm not even trying to be straight. All right, so we're going down the page and it's just to create a little bit of a background look. Okay, that's the first step. Then I'm going to get my splodgy stamp out, my splotch. This does fit onto block B, but sort of you've got to go diagonally, otherwise it doesn't fit. All right, now if I wanted to, I could do this also in grey granite, and I've also got this background flower. This one I did in grey granite as well as part of my background. So I'm going to pop that down, grab another block, and I'm not going to add this one yet because I want to see where my stem's going to go, and then I want it to sort of come out from behind my stem. So that one's ready to go, but I'm not going to use it yet. And this one, I'm going to get this to be a little bit darker. Now the colors on here, I've got an early espresso layer, and I've got the grey granite on the front, and also my base is grey granite as well. Okay. You could do the base as white, but I think white is very crisp, and if you want to continue that antique look, stick with your neutral because it's going to stay more of an antique look. So because I've got early espresso here as my first layer, I'm also going to use early espresso ink because that'll give us a bit of continuity. And I'm actually going to kind of, and don't have to, like I said before, you don't have to re-ink every time. You might decide that's enough. I'm going to start with that and see how we go. We can always add more later, right? Always add more. And then we've got our stem. Now this ideally should go on block E. You will need a larger block for this. So this is block E. So my most commonly used blocks for anyone who, oh, thank you for sharing, Kathy. I appreciate that. I can't remove it. It's not a banner tonight. It's part of my, I can rename my, let me see if I can rename myself. Yeah, I can rename it, but usually it says my desk. It usually says Linda's desk. I'll just, there you go. I can do that. Is that better? Right, so I'm using block E, which is almost the perfect fit for this, as you can see. Block E is, if I was to say which blocks to start with, I'd say block D and C and D are probably the ones that are going to use the most. So this is D. Okay, it's a really good kind of average size. And then we've got, oh, I don't think I have any C's handy. Oh, look, there's my block H. Now I found it. I don't need it anymore. This is block B. Is that block? Yeah, that's block B. I don't have any C's close to hand. I don't think. Oh, yeah, I do. Here we go. There's a C. All right, so you've got B, and you can see C is a little bit bigger. See the difference in size? I find C and D the most useful, and then the one I use next most often is E. Okay, E is great for all those really big stamps. Now, occasionally a background stamp, like, for example, okay, so a big spiral die stamp, this one. Okay, this is a huge stamp. This is not going to fit on block E. You're going to need one of two things. You're going to need a Stampin'Up plate, or you're going to need block F. Block F is our like Granddaddy Poobah block, and that actually fits the whole, this stamp takes up the whole thing. Okay, so you can either do that, but if you have a Stampin'Up, you can use your Stampin'Up plates and you don't need to buy block F. Okay, so just a little word on block sizes. All right, so when I did this initially, I stamped it in Mossy Meadow, and I'm deciding whether I'm going to do that again. I think maybe I will, but you could also do it in Early Espresso. That would look nice as well. But Mossy Meadow is a nice color. The other thing is my Mossy Meadow ink is a a newly inked pad, so I know it's really good and strong. Making sure I've got it all. Right, and then I'm going to put it right in the middle here. Or, you know, you can offset it slightly if you want to. Right, there we go. Okay, so that's Mossy Meadow. As you can see, it's quite strong. You see that there? Right, now I can position with the grey granite my little flowers, and I'd like one flower sort of, I don't want the flowers to be a major feature. I want them to be a background item. So I'm keeping them really, really light with the grey granite. If your grey granite is newly inked, you may prefer to stamp it off first. Okay, we're going for a really soft look here. All right, just like that. Right, it's coming together. All right, now something else I did on this one was I added a little bit of sponging just for fun, kind of, really. So let me grab a sponge. I'm actually deciding what color sponge to use, because this one I actually had a bit of grey granite on a piece, but it also picked up a little bit of the green from the Mossy Meadows. So it sort of ended up with a greenish tint to it. So I may do that again. Let's try the grey granite and see how that looks. Like I said, my grey granite is not especially inky. It could use a, but let's see. Yeah, see, it's not terribly inky, but I didn't want it to be too strong. So it will pick up some of the green again. Can you see how that's kind of giving us a little bit of a soft look to our flowers? So really, this is just, at the moment, this is really just a lot of stamping and not much else. Okay, not much else going on. The only other thing we're going to be doing is colouring our flowers in just a second. And also, I have already, just in the interest of time, I've cut that lovely label that I showed you out of the Meadow Dies. Isn't this a nice, I think this is a really nice, just push these out. I've got my take your pick tools behind me on the desk somewhere, on the table, on my cutting table. All right, so this is going to end up kind of down the bottom here, and I'm going to put it over to one side. Does that make sense? And also the sponged background helps this stand out a little bit more, because this is not sponge, so it stands out against that sponge background. All right, so I'm going to use my early espresso, and I'm going to grab my block here, and I've got a Thinking of You. Actually, I've got a You're Too Kind. Which one will I do? Will I do Thinking of You, which is what I've got on the original card here, or will I do You're Too Kind? Shall we do one of each, or should I do the same? Thinking of You is a good general kind of a card. Jenny, that's okay. If your hands are big enough to hold block Fs, that I'd be going for a Stamper Artist plate. That's what I would be doing. Barbie doll hands. Well, hey, that's not so bad. Could be worse. I'm just looking. You're Too Kind, says Judy. Okay, I think you're the first one to comment, Judy, so let's go with You're Too Kind. Yep, first one is Judy. All right, so here we go. So I'm just going to ink this up with my early espresso. Double check, make sure I haven't got any extra ink where I don't want it. And just in case I mess it up, I cut two, because sometimes I mess this up. So sorry about my head coming in, but I've got to put my head above it to line it up. One of each. Yep, that's right. That's what I'm going to have. That's not too bad. Good enough. Good enough. All right, so this is going to go against here. So I've got some of the flower at the bottom and some of the flower at the top. Okay, so I'm having that kind of there. I could go right in the middle, or I can move it to one side. I kind of like it on one side. Anyway, we'll worry about that in a minute. All right, so the other thing I did was I've got in this, did anyone guess what I've got in my container? If you were paying attention when I posted this card the other day, you probably know what I have. Right, so I'm going to use a blender pen today. You could also use an aqua painter. Oh, you're never too late. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've put a little tiny bit of bleach in my empty embellishment container here. If ever you have any of our embellishments, when you finish with them, keep the containers because they're really handy for all kinds of stuff. This is just one example. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to color. I'm going to color my flowers with the bleach. And you're thinking, well, why would you do that? Nothing seems to be happening. Oh, patience, my friend. Patience, grasshopper. Okay, because when you bleach, whether you can use an aqua painter for this as well, but I actually found it was kind of good using a blender pen because I could have a little bit more control, right? And I'm going to go along and I'm going to color all the petals of my little flowers. And sometimes I do it twice. We'll see how the effect is going. So when you use bleach on paper, it takes the color, the surface color pigment out of the surface of the cardstock, and you go down to the core color of the cardstock. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to work. I don't know if you can see it starting to work. Can you see it starting to work? They're starting to change. And sometimes I need to do it twice, like I said. So this is just good old household bleach, straight out of the laundry in my case. Actually, I use it more in the craft room than I do in the laundry. Don't use it very often in there. Probably should, but I don't. All right, so I'm kind of happy with this. This is looking quite nice. But if you think you can just let it do its thing and it will change color. As you can see, it's going kind of a bluey kind of a color, kind of. I'm looking there. Busy chatting about Michelle's creations. Right, so I'm just going to add a little bit more because I want to make sure the effect is going to be as bright as I can make it, so a second layer of bleach won't hurt. So the color that you get when you bleach is, in this case, you can see I'm getting kind of a light bluey green color. Okay, it depends on the color cardstock that you've chosen because different colored cardstocks have different colors in the middle. Okay, the core color is different. So for example, if I was to do it, I think you may have seen me do some of these before. If I was to do it on a bit of starry sky, yeah, the blender pens are great as well. Agree. If I do it on starry sky, it's bright turquoise. Like, it's seriously bright turquoise. If I do it on flirty flamingo, it's white. So it just depends on the color. And some colors are more, like crumb cake goes yellow, like so saffron kind of a yellow. So it really depends on what color. But I like the color that I get when I use grey granite. Can you see that? Isn't that interesting? And here it's almost gone almost white, this little bud here. And as the color develops, it's getting brighter and brighter. I know, right? It is fantastic what a bit of bleach does. So this is just fun, and you're going to get more of an effect. If you do the sponging before you do this, you're going to get a little bit more of an effect because it stands out better against the background. So we've still got the background kind of antique-y look going on, but the flowers now are standing out a lot more because of the bleach. Okay, does that make sense what we've done? So there you go. So I've got this You're Too Kind, and I'm just deciding where I'm going to put it, whether I'm going to go right in the middle or whether I'm going to go to one side. I've actually got a tiny, tiny bit of overstamping here. I could do a second one and see if I do a better job this time. Let me try. And if I'm not happy with the job the second time, then I'm just going to stick my bit of twine right there where that overstamping is. Or we could also, you might see on my original here, I've used the rustic metallic dots, which are from that Here's all that. Oh, sorry, here's the Man Suite from the annual catalogue. I really, really like these. They're meant, you know, they make great little embellishments on a masculine card, but also an antique card like this. Looks really, really good. And you could use one there where I want to cover up that bit of overstamping, but you can see I've also tied a bit of linen thread here, a bit of linen, and I love linen thread. I always make sure I have some. It's cheap and super, super fantastic on all kinds of things and great to tie knots, great to tie bows. It's really, really good. And I could also add that to here and cover up that little oopsie. So what I'm going to do is make sure that my stamp is well and truly clean before I start. Using my Stampin' Scrub for that. And then I'm going to carefully ink this up again. Turn it over and make sure I don't have too much ink on it. See, now this is where some, especially smaller stamps, it's very easy to get extra ink on the edges of the stamp. Okay, and when that happens, that's usually because I've either, it can be a number of things. It can be that my ink pad is too inky. It can be that I push too hard onto my ink pad, or something else I see people doing, they rock the stamp. Who's guilty of that? Does anyone rock the stamp? Because don't be ashamed, because I know a lot of people who do this. All right. So when you put the stamp down, sorry about lining this up again. Okay. And then what they do is, I won't demonstrate it on here because I'll mess it up. When you're stamping on here, you go straight down and straight up. Now there's no extra stamping on that, so that's much better. But what I see people doing, they put their stamp down and then they go like this. I don't know why. I think they think maybe they're going to get a better image. But if you've got any ink at all on the edges of your stamp, you're going to transfer it when you do that. Okay, so it can be one of three things that creates that overstamping: pushing too hard, a too inky pad, or rocking the stamp when you stamp it. So we're all going to get to be better stampers. That's what we're going to do. What am I looking here? What am I looking at? Move your card front. Your container is leaking bleach. Really? Where is it? Oh, under here? Oh, that's just because I, is that what you mean? You know why it's leaking bleach? Because I put the container, I put it down upside down. That's not very smart, is it? Oh, you guys have got to yell at me by typing in capitals. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to pop this on with a couple of dimensionals. You know, at the end of the day, Cherie, if something happens and I don't quite get it right, you know, I mess up something, I get a blob of something, or it's just paper. All right, that's the thing I love about this craft. It's not a mistake. It's just an opportunity to embellish. It's just paper. And you can always, you know, it's not expensive really to buy another piece of paper and start over. So there we go. Just like that. All right. Now, let me see. Have I got my little metallic dots handy? I do. Look. All right. So you can see that this is them. I've got some large and some small. I might add them, and we'll put that card together. I'm deciding whether I will actually add them today, because I've also got a class on Wednesday, and I'm thinking this is not very many left and I might need to use them. So, all right. So this is then going to go on a early espresso piece, and then I've got a piece of grey granite, the same color as this, for my card base. Okay, and that's my cute little card. If I wanted to add, and I do, a piece of twine, I'm just going to, because it always looks good. It just looks so nice. If you don't have linen thread, grab yourself some. It's not expensive. It's cheapy stuff. True. That's true. You are making sure you look after me. I see that, Cherie. I know you just want what's best for me. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to my cards. Many cards. You know, it's only the ones that if I ever have a card that I labor over a lot and then I mess it up, that can be disappointing. But most of them are pretty simple, most of my cards. So that makes for less disappointment if something goes wrong. All right, and I'm going to grab my scissors. And here we go. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm heading off. I think I've already told you this already once today, heading off to the US. So excited to go. But don't worry, I'm not going to get you guys while I'm gone. You're still going to see some live posts from me, but probably at random times. They may not be as regular as. And for my Friday and Sunday nights, I'm hoping to be organised enough to have at least 1, if not 2 weeks worth of lives for you. So that I'll still be here, and you can watch a record, like it'll be pre-recorded, and you won't see me live, but it'll be still an opportunity. You can talk to each other, and you can watch the live. I know it's not exactly the same if I'm not live, but that's okay. Anyway, I really actually like the way I think they came up. The flowers came up even better this time. Look, this one they got a bit more of a blue tinge, and this one they came out really nice. Aren't they great? Love, love, love them. Oh, you're very welcome. I know. Look, I have been told so many times by so many people that Friday nights and Sunday nights, they look forward to them, and it's something that means a lot to them. And I do not want to let you guys down, okay? I still want you to know that I'm not going to run away and just abandon you. I'm hoping that I can still have what you guys need here. It just means if there's questions, I'll have to answer them later, because I'll have to go through all the comments and everything after the fact. So that's okay though. All right, let's get these stamps cleaned up. All right, let me give this a little bit of a spritz. So we actually to make that card, we use quite a number of stamps from the one set. It's quite a versatile set. You can use it with the dies or without. And I just think it's a beautiful stamp set. So if you don't have that one, maybe that's a good one to add to your list. Oh, thanks, Margaret. Thank you. And Cherie, thank you very much. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry that, yeah, I mean, like, there's no job description for team leaders. Team leaders just have to do the best they can with what they've got. And many of us, we don't, some of us don't have team leaders ourselves that we're in contact with. And so you kind of just got to go with it and make it up as you go along. That's certainly what I do. I'm a big believer in just doing what feels like a good idea. And I started doing these lives. I had done some lives beforehand, but I started doing them regularly on every Friday and Sunday night when the pandemic started. And that was because, so that was back in, more than 2 years ago now. And the reason I did that was because I realized really quickly that a lot of people were feeling really lost. They'd, gone into lockdown, they'd lost their communities, they were doing it really tough. And so the pandemic, I just made this decision that I wasn't going to let this be the end of me, and I was going to show up, because I figured that if I was feeling the pinch, and I was feeling a loss of my community, then there had to be other people out there that felt the same way, right? So, yeah. Oh, yes. Busybodies like you can sort out the questions. You know what? That'd be great. Look, I will get to holiday, but do you know what? I love this. I would do this even if I'm on holidays. I still choose to do this, and I do love it, but I also enjoy having some time out, and I do plan on having some time out. So there might be a couple of days where, pre-scheduled things get up there. And of course, when I'm flying, I'll be in the air for a couple of days. On the way home, particularly, I've got a really long layover in one of my stops, so I'll be in the airport though, and if I can get onto data in the airport, I might use some of that time to do some stuff. So it's just, there's, like I said, no manual, and I haven't always run a perfect business either. I remember when I had some tough times, early on, and that was quite a number of years ago. Like when I was a single mum at the beginning, and I found it really tough. And so a lot of my business stuff just had to go on the back burner. I didn't do a lot of stuff with my team or any of that. I mean, I was still there if they needed me, but I wasn't doing, through that time, I wasn't doing meetings or Zooms or, updates or any of that stuff because, oh, I do. I love it, Michelle. Absolutely love it. And, you know, there's no way you could do this for 16 years. I'll be 16 years on the 7th of September with Stampin' Up, and there's no way I would continue for that long if I didn't love it. There's just no way. So, yep, no one is perfect, exactly. So go easy on the leaders. Sometimes they have all kinds of reasons why they can't be maybe as present as you might like them to be, because I know there was a period where I wasn't that present. So, yeah, I kind of have a bit of sympathy for people who find themselves in those situations, and a lot of people go through some tough stuff. Yeah. Okie dokie. Shall we make another card? Because I was looking at this set and thinking it's a celebration set. I'm trying to use some celebration sets because we've only got just over 2 weeks of celebration to go. Did you realize that? That's not very long. So I'm thinking, and I'm just looking at my stamp collection here, and I've got a couple of stamp sets. This is the one that they've used in the, let's have a look at the one they've used in the catalogue. So this is a set called Rays of Light, and this is another one of those great big background sets. See? It's massive. So you need Block F or a Stamparatus to do this one. The advantage of the Stamparatus is if you stamp it, see what they've done here? They've got the woohoo, which they cut out, and then they've done some of the other things. So you've got, you know, To Another Year, Around the Sun. Well, these are separate stamps. You can just do To Another Year if you want it to be more of a birthday card, or if you want to add the Around the Sun. And I can see this does look like a starburst, and that's why it's called a sunburst. It looks called Ray of Light. I really like this stamp. I had to buy it. I'm a big, 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 big lover of background stamps because I think they're beautiful. So let's talk about background stamps because there's a little bit of technique involved that you need to know. All right, so this one I haven't even cut it down. I could cut it down, see how like there's some extra, so we could cut in next to that. If I use this with a Stamparatus, there's no need to. Okay, more of a surprise kind of girl. Yeah, you know, you mean in-person classes, Michelle? Like, I think a lot of people miss those, and I think that's why so many people are excited about on stage coming up at the end of the year. So if anyone is in a position to go to on stage, it's worth every cent you spend. It's a fantastic day out, and it's a full-on day. Just go and be prepared to be tired. All right, so if I'm going to use a stamp like this is Block F. And Jenny, you know, I know you were saying it's hard for your hands. Being such a big stamp, it is hard on hands. Thankfully, we have got the little, can you see the little finger holder bits there so that it goes in, which does make it easier to hold. Okay, it's not just flat, but if you are having problems with that, definitely switch over and use the Stamparatus. You like this stamp too? Yeah, me too. Okay, I do really, really like it. So let's do a variation on the card that's in here because I've been looking at this card ever since I saw this, and this is probably one of my favorite cards in this brochure. Okay, so you can see they've done a couple of things with it. If you want to get a really good image, there's 2 different ways to do it. One is to use the Stamparatus because if you miss bits of it the first time, you can restamp it in the same place and again and again. Okay, and that's a fantastic idea. The other way to do it is if you've got Block F, is you need to put your stamp face up. Now I'm going to actually do slightly different to this. I'm going to start with, what color will I do? I think I'll do Daffodil Delight. So you want to start with your lighter color, and then we can add a bit more color. I'm going to kind of do the opposite to this. And I'm also thinking I'm going to make this card landscape, not portrait. They've got a portrait one, but I think a landscape one might be nice. So I'm grabbing some cardstock. And I'm just going to get some basic white. So this is just good old basic white cardstock. And I'm going to cut it to card front size, which will be a little bit smaller than our stamp. So card front size, actually, will I go? Yeah, okay. So this is 14.8. Sorry, it isn't. 14.3, pardon me, 14.3 that way by 10 centimeters across. And that's not quite a quarter of our sheet of cardstock. All right. So there's a couple of different ways to do it. Number one, when you ink up your stamp, don't try and stamp it this way. And this is going to help you too, Jenny, okay, because this is, you don't actually operate it the way you would operate a normal stamp. You don't stamp it down like normal. You place it so it's positioning up, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave it positioned up, and I'm going to take my stamp, this is Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to ink it up by taking the ink pad to the stamp, not the stamp to the ink pad. The stamp this size is just too bulky. I'm making sure I get a really, really good inking. If it's not 100% perfect, it's not going to be the end of the world, because the style of stamp that it is, can you see how we've got like little like cross hatching and little bits missed in the actual stamp itself? So if you miss a tiny bit with this, it's just going to look like it's part of the stamp. Okay, now I'm grabbing a sponge dauber, and I'm going to get a darker color. I'm thinking, which color will I go? I'm going to try Calypso Coral. So it's not a lot dark. It's dark enough that it's going to. So I'm going to add the darker color to the color that's already on the stamp, and I'm going to start here in the middle, and I'm going to keep building up the color as I work my way up. So what we're going to end up with is yellow rays, but we're also going to have some darker color around the sun itself. And that's probably about as far out as I want to go. But I'm making sure I've got plenty of ink around that middle bit, because I really do want it to stand out there in the middle. All right. Now, do not put your stamp onto your paper. You put your paper onto your stamp. Now, we're going landscape, so I'm going to turn it this way. Going right from the edge. I might have just missed a little bit of the edge. Now, what you want to do here is we want to put our paper and rub over it, and grab a piece of paper and then stick that on top and rub that, just a bit of scrap paper, whatever you've got handy, and rub the whole thing over. This way you get full contact with your stamp, so you're not missing anything. And you're also, by putting that piece of paper on, I don't get any ink on my fingers. Okay, that's the advantage of that. And then I'm just going to peel that off. And here we go. We've got our beautiful rays of light set here, which I think looks really, really nice. I like that the sun is actually white. You could color it in if you wanted to, but I kind of like that it is. The other thing I thought I'd really like to do with this would be to emboss it like in a metallic, like a gold or a silver, probably a gold on a dark background, you know, maybe gold on, I don't know, navy, or silver on black or something like that. All right, so now that I've got a little bit of sponge here, and I'm just going to go back into the yellow, and I'm just going to fill in some of these little bits around the edges, but I'm not too worried about them because it's kind of adding to the look. But I'm just going to, and you can see that I've missed a little bit down this side, so I could cut that a little bit shorter, and I think I probably will. But that's going to get you a much better image. If you try and put the stamp, being such a big stamp, onto the paper, it's difficult to manage, even if you haven't got problem hands, okay? Even if you've got little baby hands, or what was it, Barbie doll hands, even then you can still use this if you use it that way, okay? Yes, you can borrow that stamp, Denise. You and I are borrowing each other's background stamps. I've still got to get your other medallion stamp back to you. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that, but I am going to chop this edge off because I don't really want that like that. So I'd like it going off the edge. There we go. That's better. Ta-da! And I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow down that edge. Oh, actually, I just used the coral by mistake. So I guess we'll do the whole thing in the coral. That's what happens when you don't look at what ink pad you're using. All right. Actually, it's kind of nice. I'm glad I did that. All right, that looks good. What do we think? Do we like this? All right, so then we have, I've got some different banners and bits and pieces here left over from Friday night's creative session. And I've still got some bits. Oh, I forgot. This is too big. That's too big. So what I want to do is I want to put one of the sentiments from the Amazing Phrasing set. I was thinking something like, you know, you are amazing, because that's always good. And I think that's what I'll do. I'm actually looking at this and wondering if I should have cut it down a little bit and put a border around the outside, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to use a bit of white again, and then I'm going to cut this with my dies after the fact. Amazing. And let's come in with our Calypso Coral. Probably should be using a matte under this, but it's okay. All right. And let me grab my tailored tag dies. Oh, sorry, I keep calling them tailored tag. It's actually tailor-made tags. I don't know why I always get that wrong. Ooh, it would. You could do that. That's an interesting idea, Cherie. See, this is probably about the right size, because then I've also got room just above it to go to put the "you are." So, and I'm going to do that in a different color. So, let me move all this out of the way, and let's grab our machine, because we can. Do you like the way the color's darker in the middle? It's very easy to do with the sponge daubers. I'm going to bring out. I'm going to bring up my machine so you can see. You can also see more of the mess on my desk, but oh well, you know, that's just how it works. You know what I did? I just dropped my die, and I think it's gone. I think it went into my bag, which means it could take me a while to find it. So I'm just going to pick a different one rather than scrabbling around in my bag. And I'll use this one instead. All right. I'm just going to stand up to do this because I find it easier to line up if I stand up. I'm going to pull this through. Yes, the punch was tailor tag, exactly, and they retired that. I used to like doing like pile effects with that. That was a really fun punch. You know, every now and then someone says, why do they retire stuff when we really like it? Why would they do that? It's a really good reason. It's good business, that's why. Because it helps them keep their range fresh and unique if they're constantly changing over products. Okay, if they leave them all the same forever and ever, they not only do people stop buying them, which is not a good thing, but also it just keeps the range fresh for them to turn it over. So yep, it's a business move through and through, if you're wondering, and we don't always like it, but that's just how it is. All right, so I've got a little block here, and let me find the "you are." Where is it? Oh. So sorry. There it is. "You are." There we go. And I'm thinking for this, I might just go with good old black. I think that might be nice in here. So that would be Memento. Did I contaminate your coral with the yellow? No, because the coral is darker than the yellow, so no. There we go, just like that. Do this. I've got stuff everywhere, really. One of these days, I'm gonna, well, I do even now. So I'm thinking, should we put this on an angle or straight? Do we like it? See, I don't always like angles, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to put some dimensionals behind it. I do think sometimes the angles just look, unless you make it really look like like a strong angle, it can just look like it's a mistake and you got it crooked. Oh, angle, angle, angle. Everyone wants an angle. Okay, angle it is. Like this. Now, I need to find a really great, I could use black and white because we've got the black in the writing here, so that would work. I've got a few different options. We could go with twine. I'm actually running a little bit low on some of my ribbon. I might need to replace some. And going through, just looking to see what colors would look good. I mean, we've got good old white, which can be colored to be anything, but I think for tonight, I'm going to go with this one. And bling, of course, Jody. What else? Of course, of course. I'm going to use my linen thread again because it's fantastic. This linen thread has been a constant in our catalogue for years. I hope they never get rid of it. I'd be very sad if they got rid of it. It's too good. Actually, I think we've had it always since I've been a demonstrator. All right, we need to cut that off. And we need to cut this off a little shorter. And yes, we do need bling. Absolutely, we need bling. So I'm deciding what bling to use because, you know, that's always a big decision. Even though it's not exactly the same, I could get away with some pale papaya. That would work. That's quite pretty. It's not exactly a match, but it would work. Oh, I know. Wonder if one of these would look good. So in here, oh, these might be the go. So the colors in here, because it tells me in the mini catalog. Let me just grab it and I'll tell you. So this is the blingy set that matches the gnome stamps. So where are they? Where are they? You know what I should do when I start looking for, here it is. See, here they are here. You see them? And so the colors in this are Calypso Coral, which would be a perfect match, Pale Papaya, Pacific Point, and Pool Party. So let's go with our Calypso Coral, seeing as that's the color that we've used in here, right? And I'm thinking maybe, and they're in different sizes, which is really rather nice. I'm going to add extras today, I think. What do we think? Do we like that? Yeah, ooh, says Jody. It is the right one, isn't it? Yeah, we could colour the ribbon, but I kind of like the black and white because we've got black writing here, so it kind of goes. Now, the only other thing that I could have done was put a layer behind, because if I put this on white, let me see, put some white here. If I put this on white, it may not stand out too much. I mean, it'll look okay, but it might look better with a Calypso Coral. And see, because I cut that little bit off, we're a little bit short, so I'll need to cut that down as well. But that's okay. Maybe. You know what? I think I'll just leave it and then just cut off that end. You think it's perfect? Well, that's good. Winker Stella is a good idea in the sun part. You could do that. Anyone got anything exciting coming up this week? Cool things happening? I'll tell you what, the most exciting thing I've done in the last few days is I'm chipping away at my to-do list before I go away, and I actually pulled out, because we're going to summer over there. It's going to be quite warm, and so I pulled out all my summer clothes to see if I have anything that actually fits after the last couple of years of COVID. You never know. And if I do have things that fit, you know, what I'm going to take. But I'll tell you a little secret, and you might like this one because it made me really happy. They've changed the baggage allowance. It used to be much more. You could take 2 bags overseas. Now you can only take 1, and it's only 1 at 23 kilos, which is not very much. So my husband says to me, and he's the king of packing, he says he would like for me and him to, in each of our bags, only pack 10 kilos. I'm like, whoa, that's not very much. What am I going to take that's 10 kilos? And then he tells me the reason why is because he wants to allow for 13 kilos of shopping each. And that made me really happy. And I thought, yep, I can do 10 kilos. If I'm shopping over there for 13 kilos of shopping, yes, I can do that. Oh, first college apartment. How exciting. Whereabouts is that, Sean? Is that, because it's a bit different over there to here. Stamp some birds onto the longer edge. Oh, I could have, but I've cut it off now. You could put birds coming out here, though. And you know what? We have a new set. Let me show you. This is something coming next month. It's not available yet. We have a new set coming called, the stamp set is called Waterfall Canyon. And then there are some matching waterfall dies. Now, you're not going to find those in the catalogue. They're coming out next month, and they will be available to customers at the beginning of September. I'll just show them to you. There are 31 dies in here, and they're a little bit overwhelming when you first see them. But, oh, my gosh, I've been playing with them. I've made some amazing things with these. But the reason I'm showing them to you, look at them all, okay? Can you see these? Look at these. Look at these little guys. Little birdies. Look at them. Little dies. I can see myself losing those. Thank goodness I have that magnetic bowl. That might save me because, gee, they'd be easy to lose. But they are fabulous. Aren't they great? And I could put a couple of those heading out from the sun. That would actually look rather nice, wouldn't it? Heading out here somewhere. What do you think? You love those? Yeah. Do you want to see a couple of cards I've made with them? I'm going to show you, but I'm actually doing I'm not going to show you all of them. Some of them are a surprise. Let me show you. Let me show you one. All right, here's one I can show you. All right, so this is a card using the stamp set called Waterfall Canyon, and then I've also added some of the dies. I've added the dies in the trees. Are really cute, and I've added some of the rocks here at such to give a more of a textured look. It is a fantastic set, really is. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's called Waterfall Canyon, and you'll see me using more of it over the next little while. For those of you who are demonstrators, I'll be doing a I'll be doing a video with these on the demonstrator planning place to show you this, and there's a whole bunch of other cards I've made with it that's really cool. Here's the stamp set. Okay, that's the matching set. And you've got this little bridge here that you can stamp and cut out. There's the die that cuts out the bridge. Where is it? There it is, right there. But you can also make this little bridge. Look at him. Isn't he cute? There's a little bridge. So, yeah, a lot of fun with these. So if you are a demonstrator, you'll get to see me playing with those on the demonstrator planning place. So you have to watch out for that. Michelle. You never know, Michelle. You never know. See, that's actually, Sean, we don't understand all that second year sophomore stuff, but I know it's got to do with going going to college, which is, it's totally different here. We just, you know, go off to uni. It's year 1, year 2, year 3. But there's no like fancy names like sophomore or anything like that. So I'm not 100% what sophomore means, but I know it's a year at college. You still haven't got it? Yeah, I didn't get it straight away either, Donna. So, yeah, I've got it now ready for this promotion that's starting in September. And the other one that I'm getting, and you're going to see me using this one as well, I'm waiting for the dies to arrive, is the Apple Harvest set. So this is in the mini, and there are dies coming out for this, and I'm about to start using those as well. So the dies will cut out these and the apple, you know, and yeah, all the different stamps in there. Then the little blossoms, absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice dies to go with that as well. So that's coming in September, all right? But if you're ordering in August and your order's over $60, you will be receiving from me next month a packet, a supply pack to make the card that I'll be making on the 24th of September as a live video. So that's a Saturday afternoon here in Australia. It's 2 p.m. on a Saturday, Sydney time. But I also chose that time so if you're overseas and you wanted to watch, you certainly can still watch. It's going to be a live video just like these normal ones. So you don't have to, like it's available to everyone. It's public. But to get the supply pack, you would have need to have placed an order this month. And also, if you're in my team, you'll receive the tutorials that I'll be making available after the video that day on the 24th. So the team members will get the tutorials for free. Everybody else can either buy the tutorials, which I'll have available for sale, or if you placed an order in August, you're going to get them automatically as well. Okay, so for placing an order this month, you'll get your celebration stuff if you've got a $90 order or more, and you're also going to get the supply pack to make the card with me on the 24th, and you'll get the videos after that class. It's a watercolor class, so I'm going to be having a lot of fun with some watercolor stuff, and very soon I'll announce the recommended products for the class. So those of you who want to craft along with me, and that's what it's called my craft along event. When you craft along with me, it means that you get to follow along, and we can chit chat just like this. It'll be a lot of fun. Oh, the second of 4 years. That makes sense, Sean. Now I understand. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Katrina. I'm really glad. Oh, they're really nice, Wendy. And I'm going to be doing, like I said, quite a bit with them. So check out the demonstrator planning place. And also I'll do some stuff here with them. After that, I'll do some stuff here for you guys as well. But it's a scene building set. And you guys know I love my scene building sets. I love any opportunity to build a scene. I think scene building sets just are so full of possibilities. It's a lot of fun. So yes, it will be on YouTube, Donna. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be just like this. So I'll have it on my VIP group. I'll have it on my Facebook public page. Basically it's going to be everywhere that I am. It'll be on my YouTube page. So anyone can watch, but only those who have the supply pack from me who have placed an order this month will be able to make it. You can still make it along with me, but you'll be cutting up your own stuff if you haven't placed an order. It's totally up to people if they want to do it that way. I'm going to see how this goes. Part of the issue has been that I've been doing online classes now for a couple of years, more than a couple of years, and they've been going okay, but they're getting really, really big, and I have so many cards to cut up because I've been doing 4 cards, and if you have 30 or 40 people each doing 4 cards, that's a lot of cards to cut up, right? And it's turned into a huge amount of work, and with going away this month, I could not continue that at the moment. So I'm trying this new one, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to give it a try. probably for a couple of months, and we'll see what happens. And I may continue it if everyone really loves it, or I may tweak it or change it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really glad that you enjoyed them. Really, really glad. Let's come back to me for a sec. So I hope everyone has a great week this week. Don't forget, everything I've made tonight is available for purchase. If you are putting through an order through the online store, which is either on my blog or my Facebook page, there's a nice Shop Now button on both of those pages. I'll put the details in the description below so you can find them easily, okay? And you can go ahead and place an order for anything you've seen or anything else in our catalogues at the moment. Okay, I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I'll be back on Friday night. Look after yourselves, guys. Stay safe, stay well, and if it's I heard it might be gonna rain for a bit, so stay dry. See you soon. Bye.